Hello,
Hi,
I'm
Nikki.
I'm Heather and we're Woolly
Woolly
Elephant.
Elephant.
It's been 3 weeks
3 weeks.
since our last episode. We were going to film last week. It was so hot. The weather here last week was so hot.
It was 10.6 million degrees.
It was a scorcher. I'd been out, walked to my mum's and back, probably been in the sun too long, and I had a blinding headache and I looked like a beetroot. A freezing beetroot at that.
And I've been in work all day, and
When she got the call from me.
I was like, yay, thank you. We'll do it next week. I looked right nice. It was horrible.
Because in the chippy,
So
it's
hot.
so hot. It was 29. I think it was 29 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about
No,
about
it's 29 degrees Celsius.
so sorry, 29 degrees Celsius, which is about 84 degrees Fahrenheit, I think. And then it was a couple of
10.6
degrees,
million degrees.
a couple of degrees hotter at Chippy.
Yeah, it went to 30 degrees
So
when we were cooking. And 32 at one point when all the fries were going and all the bodies were in the shop and some crazy person closed the door.
I noticed people kept doing that.
It's like, what are you doing?
Why are they shutting the door? Anyway, people are nuts.
Oh,
Anyway, I digress. We digress.
it's the 1st of June. Happy June.
Thursday, the 1st of June, it's 8:30 at night. It's episode 13. Lucky, unlucky for some, lucky for us, I hope. But anyway, because it's been an extra week, I've got more done. I don't know about Nicola. Anyway, if you normally watch us, can I just say, I mentioned in the last episode that my sister was waiting for a diagnosis that might not be so good. Anyway, she hasn't got a diagnosis yet, but she was being, the doctor had suggested they thought she might have motor neurons disease, and she's been to see a neurologist, and the neurologist thinks the doctor's wrong and doesn't think she's got it. She's still got to have tests, but that's not going to be till December, so they're not rushing. He seems to think she hasn't got it, so that's a plus. So
Yay!
at the moment, so it's not very often we get good news.
Happy to get good news.
So she's not working anymore, she's had to leave work, but we're hoping it's not, it's looking like it's not going to be that, because that wouldn't be good news for her at all.
Not for anybody really. But
No.
thank you for all your kind words
Yeah.
and your kind wishes and hoping that she'll be okay. It was really lovely to get those
And-
comments.
Did I say, was Jean home last time? Jean's home now?
Yeah,
Um,
I think we did say that.
no, she was waiting to come home. She was waiting for transport.
Took another day for her to get home.
Chippy Jean, yeah, it took her. She didn't get home till the following day, and then she's still full of a cough and things, but she's okay now. I've been to see her a couple of times.
Sorry,
We were swapping swear words and all sorts, so she must be back to normal.
blue neck.
Can always tell when she's ill and when
But
she's
the best
not.
words.
I learned all the best ones from her. Anyway,
Alternating.
on to knitting, before you get bored and wander off. Oh, you can find us on all the social media,
Tinterwebs.
Woolly Elephant, on Facebook, Ravelry, Woolly Elephant podcast group. Is it Woolly Elephant podcast
The
group?
Woolly Elephant podcast.
The Woolly Elephant
In the groups
podcast.
tab.
In the groups tab, yeah. Instagram, Woolly Elephant Mum and Woolly Elephant Daughter. And we are pretty active on Instagram. I'm on there.
And Etsy, we're
Every
Woolly
day.
Elephant.
And we've got an Etsy shop at the moment selling Nikki's handmade bags, which are proving quite popular. So if you fancy having a look, she'll show a couple of what's going to be on the next update
At the end.
shortly. Okay? So,
Do you want to go first?
we'll go first. FOs, finished objects. I have a couple this week.
I've got one, but it's hardly an FO. It took like 2 minutes to do.
But it's still a finished object. Nonetheless. I've got a couple of FOs, a couple of O's.
I've got an FO and a ho. I always feel like I'm being rude when I say ho.
Yeah.
Yo, I've got a ho.
Half finished objects, as were. Anyway, since I saw you last, I've bought this wool and knitted these socks, so you haven't even, unless you follow me on Instagram, you won't have seen them even in progress. I've shown me progress on Instagram. Mind blank then.
Mine just
Yeah.
broke.
And these are what I've been doing. There was some yarn I got, some castaway double knit I got from Stranded Dye Works, and the pattern is Blueberry Waffle. So
Definitely want to try some of those.
they are really, I think we've got facial.
Did you say what yarn it is?
We've got facial recognition on here today. We're like just watching a little box chase around the screen. So there you go. That's pretty. It's since I've washed them and blocked them, patterns flattened out.
Did you say what yarn they were in?
Yeah, Stranded Dye Works, Castaway Double Knit in Buried. Now when I saw it on her podcast, not on that, the podcast she put out the day before, and she held it up flash, this was going to be in the update. I thought it was more purple, and it's more terracotta coloured with purple in it. But
I'd say it's like a sunburnt orange.
there is lilac and purples in it, and I was a bit disappointed when it came because it wasn't
What you expect?
what I was expecting. But now they are done, I am really liking them. Yeah. One's got like this one even. It's got like a stripe going through it, which I didn't see until I blocked them. Blocked them even. Anyway, and they've grown a bit. It's 100% merino. It's not actual sock yarn, but I was planning on wearing them for, sitting around in the evenings. So they weren't going to get a huge amount of wear and tear.
But they're fab.
And since I've blocked them, like I said, the pattern's flattened out a bit, which is a shame because I liked it when it was more.
Is it a free pattern?
It's a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Blueberry Waffle socks in double knitting. It took me, I think I knitted one, nearly the whole of one in an afternoon. A long afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
They knitted up that quick. I knitted them on 3.
Oh yeah, because it's DK, isn't it?
Yeah, 3.75mm. If I was to do them again, if I was to knit in this yarn again, I would go down a size, maybe 2 sizes, so that when they're blocked,
What, like a 3.25?
maybe go on a 3.25, so that when they're blocked, they won't be as loose. Because I think if I was to wear these a lot in my boots or anything, they go a bit baggy.
Yeah.
But I wasn't to know that. I haven't knitted socks in 100% merino before, but they are.
I didn't know that.
But they are lovely.
Mine.
So I would go. Personally, I would go down the side. If we're knitting them in acrylic, I'm going to do the same ones in acrylic for Jodie at work in pink baby crofter.
That'd be nice.
I'll probably just do it on these ones.
You do them for Christmas.
No, I just did them because she said she wanted some pink socks. So I thought, well,
Why not?
I'll do some. They don't take very long.
Oh yeah, she made me laugh because she said she'll never take them off.
Yeah. They'll walk. They'll be stiff by the time. Anyway, that's those. So that's a finished object. I'm sure yours before I show another one.
It's Michael's birthday next month. I can't believe I'm saying that. He's going to be 2. And one of his presents is a dolly. And you know the socks I made for Ben, nearly said Michael then. Well, I had some left over, so I thought I'd make this like tiny hat to go over the dolly's head.
Because he loves baby dolls.
He just loves them. When we're at playgroup, he steals dolls out of prams because he wants to play with them. It's cute, but it's kind of odd.
Who just messaged you?
Amber.
Yarn junkie. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He goes around pinching babies and he's there holding it and go, baby, and he's like. So he's got a dolly for his birthday, and I'm gonna get him a pram. And I thought I'd knit a hat for the baby to have a hat because he likes putting hats on himself. Doesn't like wearing them. He likes putting them on and taking them off. But I thought he'd have fun doing the same on a dolly. I got this pattern. It's free off Ravelry. It's either Ravelry or Pinterest. I can't remember which. But I did it on DPNs.
Was that not the one that Yarn Junkie did? That Amber did?
No, this is a different one.
That baby actually showed.
No, I've got that one. I've saved that one to knit, should I need to knit it. But I haven't actually tested this on the doll's head. I really should. Because this is like...
It's like micro hat.
It said newborn and the dolly is newborn. It's one that we used to use to model baby clothes on for our Etsy shop. And that fit on the preemie hats you knitted, so it might fit this.
Maybe. Well, we'll see.
But it was a free pattern anyway, and it's got a rolled hem, and it's so badly knit. 'Cause I did it without even looking. You can see the ladders. But that just shows that yarn that I knit for Ben's socks. It's knitted up in stripes on that because it's such a small stitch count. And it took me an evening.
I don't think we're
It's not going to focus.
It's not, it's loving you.
Stop loving me. No camera. I know I'm gorgeous, but still.
No. Oh no. Sorry.
Right, you can see from here. It's minuscule. That's not going to fit on a human baby's head.
Not unless it's a very tiny one.
Well, yeah.
We don't want one that small.
No babies that small, please.
Right. Next one. I am wearing it. This is my Fairy Hill shawl from the Shawl Society 2. I am just loving this. I wasn't very far along on the last episode. It only took about 2 weeks, didn't it, this?
Going to steal it. Going to be mine.
It is. No, it's not.
Well, you just said it was. I said it's going to be mine. You went, it is. No, it's not.
No, it's not. You're not getting it. This is as light as a feather.
It is beautiful.
It's as light as a feather. Go away, Nikki. And it's glittery.
Glittery.
Go on, it's getting it. It's this is called Lungwort. Yeah, you can see the sparkle in the black. Lungwort Sparkle in from Mothie and the Squid. It's obviously a 4-ply, but it is so light. It's not huge. It was teeny tiny. It seemed really small. When I finished knitting it, it came to about here. It was about that wide. And I thought, flipping heck, I thought it'd be a bit bigger than that. Anyway, I blocked it to death.
Still got some stretch in it though.
And it's not at the top edge, it's not. But I blocked it to death, and it looks. I'm really happy with it because it's a nice, lovely, lightweight one to for this time of year. Really, I think it's quite pretty, very pretty. I've got about there we are. There's a logo. I don't know whether you'll get to see that. Because this camera has good days and bad days. Especially when it's loving Nikki.
Oh, what's not to love?
But I think I've got about, it took about 70 grams, I've got about 30 grams of that left. So that's a good size mini. I thought it'd take it all. So there was 2 sizes on the shawl pattern. There was a bigger size and the smaller size, and it said the smaller size would take, would use a 400 metre, up to about 400 metre single skein.
Yeah.
Which is, well, only took 70 grams of it.
What needles did you knit? Would it be like a 4?
It was on 4mm. I was knitting it on my 4mm grey cheap.
Oh.
80 centimetre. Do you know what, actually?
Easy knitting or something?
Yeah, it was fine. Those in the red packets that
those cheapy clunky ones?
Yeah, they cost about £3. I used to sell them in the shop. But I used to sell loads of them.
That's what I knitted Michael's waistcoat.
I knitted it on that actually. I didn't really have any trouble. It was all scrunched up all the time, so I couldn't get it. I had no long available cords and needles because they were all occupied.
Isn't that always the way?
Isn't it always the way? So I thoroughly enjoyed knitting that, and the new pattern, the new one in the series has come out today. I think I show this because they show it on.
Should have heard her.
I'm like, oh,
this morning
this
she
is
was like,
exciting.
Oh, the new pattern.
It's the new pattern. I'd forgotten. I'd forgotten. Infinite. What's it called? I can't remember what's it called. Sprite's Fen Shawl. There it is. This is only a black and white version, obviously. But it's in a lovely bluey colour on there, and it's just like, I want to knit it and I want to knit it now, right now. I want a shawl to go with this top. And I have a dress I was wearing last week. I bought exactly the same colour. It's got this pattern all over it. I liked it so much I went out and bought the t-shirt as well. But when I saw it in the shop, it was displayed in the shop, it had a mustard coloured cotton scarf on the hanger with it. But it was another £22 or something. And I says, no, I'll not buy a scarf, I'll make one. And then couldn't find any yarn that colour. Anyway, I've since ordered a load of Knit Pick palette yarn.
Loads.
Because I want to do some colour work.
You can swim in it.
You could, loads. And that has come, I'm not going to show it all, but that's come this week. So, and there's 2. I've got mustard in there and like a dark teal. I posted a picture of that on Instagram today. So you can always go on there and have a look on my profile on there. You can see it on there. Which I'm going to knit. Stop saying gonna knit. I'm going to knit.
So common.
I know. In mustard and this dark teal colour and the beige that's in this. I think I'm going to knit that shawl in. I am going to do everything possible to try and finish the other one.
I was fully expected to come here and you already cast it on.
And no, I didn't. I was good. I sorted all things out, tidied things up. I've done this one. I need to finish the other one I'm going to show. At least got to finish that show before I start the one. So I'll finish that.
She's got itchy fingers.
I have. I don't want to do it. And the other shawl, this is not one that Nikki's wearing that I've just finished, but I've blocked it. Do you want to take it off so they can... I actually blocked it. This was in one of our first... Was it episode 2 or episode 3?
I think so.
And it was teeny tiny. And it's the first one I've blocked since I got some... I bought these giant 60cm square foam play mats from Tesco's, and they were £11 a pound. I think you got 4, so it made a really big mat.
This is giant compared to what it looked like
Yeah,
initially.
yeah. I'll pass it a bit closer, and it was tiny. I can now see all the pattern.
Because it kind of was scrunched up, wasn't
Yeah,
it? The edge
you
curled.
couldn't see all the patterning in it, could you really?
No.
And this was in Knit Picks Chroma Fingering. In I think was it Wildflower? I think it was. Something like that. But now I can see the lace pattern, so much so I can see the lace pattern, I can see mistakes I didn't even know I'd made.
They're not mistakes.
Yeah, happy accidents. At this end somewhere.
There's
Completely, all the rest seems to be alright, but I seem to have a complete, my lace pattern in one place is just over 2, it's completely off. But hey ho, who's going to notice?
It'd be fine.
So, but it was the first thing I noticed as soon as I went, my lace has gone wrong. So there you go. I always said I'd show it once I'd blocked it, because it didn't have points before.
I like it.
They're supposed to be in scallops, but I couldn't. I couldn't. I didn't want to put like 10 million pins in each curve, trying to get it. So it's got points instead. So that's that one.
Well, nice and pointy, and we like it.
Yeah.
I like it like this.
Yeah. So it looks really nice. It's just a nice size to fit inside your coat, or your jacket, or your cardigan, as is this one.
Yes.
So, have you any more finished objects?
I've only got a hoe.
So, well, this is not finished.
It's just rubbish.
I feel like I've been doing this forever. But this is it's only my second weaving project. It's been on the loom for about a month. I got it at the same time as I bought the wool for this. I've just shown it on Instagram today because I've only taken it off the loom this afternoon. This is in Peter Pan, Baby Merino, double knit. Oh, you can see it better that way. That's pink and grey stripes. And I know I had loads of the cream. I was going to initially do like a tartany pattern, but I wasn't sure I'd have enough of the grey. So I made it pashmina size. I measured one of the pashminas I've got and tried to do it to that size. This red at the end, if you've not done any weaving, you don't know, that's just to stabilise it, get all your threads evened out, and you pull that out at the end before you put in all your tassels, because it was either going to be a pashmina or, if it looked totally terrible, edges and things like that.
Yeah.
We said it could maybe be material for bags, but now it's done. It's quite sizable. It's bigger than.
It's a good size. Just go sleep
Popping.
now.
And it's got a glaring mistake in it, which you can't see if I don't show you. And it's going to be really warm, that. In fact, it might make a nice Christmas present, doesn't it? It'll be nicer when it's washed.
Yeah, you'll be able
Because
to
I think
make a
when
proper decision
from
then.
watching Kelly Casanova, I think she's called.
I've not seen that.
She's a weaver. She's shown before and afters of the woven fabric that's done in wool before, which is quite gappy. You can see through it like that, and when it's been washed, how it blooms and all that fills in.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Which will be nice. So it's whether I can bear to let it go and be chopped up. I might pick out some of the hand-dyed, more coloured yarns for making bags. I'll show you what I mean by glaring mistake, which I only discovered. Turns out it was a third of the way in. Yeah, can you see it right in the middle? But I'd gone 3/4 of the way through. I'd just unwound it a bit, loosened it all up and went to try and tighten it back up on the loom, and then spotted that. I thought,
marvellous.
oh, well, I won't tell you what I said. Oh, flipping heck.
Beep, beep, beep.
Really? And because I couldn't go back and do that. I'd gone obviously over and not noticed, gone over 2 threads as opposed to going over and over and over. We've gone over a couple, but I shouldn't have. Anyway, it's only my second ever one, and the first one that I've done in wool, and I had loads of this stuff left from when I closed my shop down. More than I was ever going to knit. So,
even I've got some.
so all I've got to do on that is wash it. I've tied all the.
Do you like wash it like you would block it? Or
Yeah, just like you block. No, just like you block your your shawls. So I've tied all the fringe at that end. It'll obviously need cutting and to the length that I want it. It just needs doing it at that end, and then that's that one done. First sample. And really, I've done it over about 4 weeks or so. But if I had just stuck with it, it's quite quick, and that would have been done. I probably could have done that inside a week.
Alright.
In a couple of days even.
That's not too bad.
Because you sit there for an hour, and within an hour you've done. I mean, and I'm new, so I'm slow. I've done something like about that much, at least a foot or more in an hour.
Oh, that's really good.
So if you just stuck with it. But I'm like a knitting addict, so I can't really knit anymore on that one, I'm afraid. Right. Got any hose?
I have a hoe. It's my toe-up sock, and I feel like my
I'm going to move that because it's glaring.
my foot is like 10 feet long, but it fits me really well. I've just done another vanilla latte sock that I did for my nanny. I've just done another one, but these are for me. I've knitted these toe up, and I cast them off in pattern. Didn't really think about how tight it was going to be, so now I need to rip the cast off back out and redo it. There's a Julie's super stretchy binder. Is that it?
I did.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I've done. That was that sewn binder.
Oh, it's a bit different.
Mm.
Well, I tried this on to see if it fit, because I knit the leg short, because I don't like long legs on my socks personally. And it fits perfectly, but it's like the world's biggest foot.
I thought the same on mine. I just think it's because of the way
I don't understand how it's so long.
They look flatter, I think,
What do you think?
than one done that way. I think because of just the way it's done.
See if I can get it on my foot with that blooming cast off.
She's going to stick her foot in the air.
No, it's not happening. I've got swollen ankles.
Yeah.
No, it's not getting on.
It's a lovely colour though. What yarn was that?
This was the February yarn from the Devon Sun Yarns
Club.
sock club that I was in. Really nice. Where is it?
It's a nice raspberry pink, isn't it?
This is it caked up. I imagine it's pink for the doodah for Valentine's Day. And it came, she said in the leaflet that it will be like a gradient yarn. I don't know if that classes as gradient.
No, that's a tonal.
Yeah. Because I originally was going to knit this shawl with it, because it said it was more of a gradient.
That's not a gradient though. That doesn't look a gradient. It looks like a tonal.
And a gradient's more of a
Shading,
isn't
yeah.
it? And so I'm glad I decided to do socks with it instead, because I would have been a bit ticked off. But I haven't cast on the second one. I'll cast the second one on it at some point soon. I just need to redo that cast off. And that's my only hope. And I knitted them on 2.75 because my feet swell and so do my ankles. And I remember watching Wet Coast Wool's podcast, and they were saying that they didn't understand how people could knit on 2.75 needles for the socks. They must have like super tight tension, whereas I do have tight tension, but I've
knitted a few of mine on 275s. Granted, they are a bit looser, but I don't like tight socks.
I don't like tight socks, but I want to be able to wear my socks when my ankles and my feet swell up.
Because I'm a typical, the first thing you want to do when you get home is you want to take your bra off.
Yep.
And I want to take my socks off as well.
Yeah.
I always want to get my socks off. I hate my feet feeling constricted. So I don't
Yeah.
like tight socks, and knitted socks.
It just made me laugh when they said that.
Yeah, when they're a bit loose, when they're a bit looser,
Yeah,
they don't constrict at all, do they? And you're
No.
quite happy to wear them.
definitely.
Because
I wasn't knocking their podcast. I just found
No.
that amusing.
people have knitted all sorts of different tensions, and some
I'm
people
a tight
like,
knitter.
yeah, some people like the socks looser, some people like them tighter.
I have knitted them on smaller, but I just felt like the stitches were digging in.
Whereas I've gone down a couple of sizes, because I was originally, if they think that was big, I've knitted a lot of mine on 3mm. Because when I was first knitting socks, I did pull it quite tight, because you were conscious with the DPNs and you were pulling it
Oh, I
tight
did.
because things, so I was pulling it a lot tighter. So I was doing them on 3mm. And then gradually, as they were over time, they go a bit baggy. I came down to a 2.75. And some of these yarns I've used recently, like the koi socks, I did on a 2.75, and they've gone a bit too
Yeah.
loose. But I wear them all. I have them on nearly every day.
All the
I
time.
do wash them occasionally, but I just like the look of them. But if I was to knit with that yarn again, Stranded Dyeworks Paradise, 4-ply sock yarn, I would go down. Well, I've gone down to a 2.25.
Really nice, that sock.
Anyway, this one is I've seen me showing this a couple of times. This was from the Socks of Ozcal, Just Follow, for the Yellow Brick Road. It's I should put it on a sock blocker really, shouldn't I? Do you know all that song?
No. I know a bit of it. I've had word party stuck in my head all day.
You've had what?
It's a kids programme on Netflix. It teaches new words, and when they've taught the new word, they do this dance. It's all these little animals, and he goes, word party! And you like this, and Michael's like, and I'm like, because it gets stuck in your head. It's one of those annoying catchy ones.
Right, there we go. On something. That's not very neat. I need some better quality sock blockers now, I think. Oh well, it's nearly there. It's not very pretty, but you can see it better that way. If it'll focus. I've not blocked this one yet. I thought I'll wait till I've done both. It doesn't. It's not. It's chasing you under the screen. There. You've got your road, and then there's bricks. I love that, and I've knitted this on 2.25. As I said in the last episode, if you watched, I knitted it toe up, which I've never done before. I learned Judy's Magic Cast On.
I did the Turkish cast on.
And I found the Judy's Magic Cast On quite easy. Made it like I did German short row heel, which was new to me as well. I haven't done that before. I knitted magic loop with some very annoying magic loop, some very annoying needles. I'm waiting for the others. And then I learnt a darned cast off as well, where you use a darning needle and you sew in it.
Feel on your foot.
It fits perfectly. Now I knitted them on 2.25. I've gone gradually down in size at the moment to 2.25, and I usually do a 64 stitch cast on.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to go down the needle size, you can always go up a stitch count. So I've done I think it was 64. And I just followed the pattern. I just did it to the length of the pattern. That's roughly about the length I normally do my socks anyway. And I like the German short row because it still gives you that heel flap and gusset, but without having to do the picking up at the sides.
That's what I hate.
Which was quite good, and I learnt that from the Sockmatician. And just to prove, I have cast on the other one, so that I will do it. But that's as far as I've got, because I bought some cheap ones I found in Abercan in Manchester when we were in Manchester. We were actually in Manchester the day before the bombing. It's I'm sure you've all heard about it.
Scary stuff.
At the MEN Arena. We were in Manchester the day before, and I just saw these. These were cheap ones. I just thought I'll just pick them up. You just never know. They were £2, I think 25. What a waste of money. These were even worse than these. I had to push nearly every stitch on, so I've done that much just to get the toe started, and I've finally got some. Everybody was recommending Woolstack, which I was looking at, and then Nora George had an update on, and I noticed she had high. I hadn't noticed before. She had high needles, and she had the 2.25s. I think they were 80 and 90 centimetre or something.
That's a good length though for Magic Queen.
in stock. So I'm just awaiting those. I think she said she was posting out Wednesday or Friday this week. So I'm not doing any more because I'll just give up until they come. So as soon as they come, then I can crack on with getting that finished.
So I do all my Magic Loop on high highs.
Yeah, other because I'm kind of falling out with that. Anyway, I did finish my rainbow sock, my opal rainbow sparkly sock.
Did you show that in the last one?
I showed it in the last one. I was to about there. So I didn't have much left to do. So that's that one finished. I did start the second one. Thought I have to start them, otherwise I'll never do it. I have serious one sock syndrome. I started it, got to about there, and then realised I'd done a 1x1 rib.
Oops.
When I'd done a 2x2 rib on this one, and I thought, bugger it, I'll just carry on. And I can test out which ribs works best, and then change my mind. Did a bit more and then changed my mind, pulled it back.
Got a bit annoying.
Yeah, I thought, no, I want them to match. Just in case I decide to give them away. And so I have started it. And these are on my 9-inch circle. I just like 9-inch circles. I'm just going round and round. I haven't got to stop and pull a cord through. I haven't got to pull it tight between DPNs. And I do love my DPNs. I can just go round and round and round without having to think about it. So
happy days.
So that's that one. So 2 hose, but I've started the next ones. So I thought I'd better prove it.
You're good. Not like me.
I only started them a couple of days ago. So that's everything, I think, half finished. So work in progresses. I'll shut up now and let you talk.
Works in progress. Packed this bag last week to do the podcast, and I think I've taken one thing out of it since, so I can't remember what I packed. So this is a surprise for everybody. Oh, my shawl. This will get done eventually. There's like 95 million stitches.
That one that I'm going to be doing, I think it finishes on about something like 500 stitches or something on that new fairy one, that new secret shawl one.
So where the progress keeper is, the little pink ball, is where it was last time I showed you. I was halfway through the lace panel, and now I've finally joined the orange. And
it feels really nice, this.
It's going to drape really well.
Garter stitch shawls, however boring they can be to knit, they do feel really nice and drapey.
And this is some yarn I got from Kendal Wool Fest or whatever it was called.
The first wool festival we went to, wasn't it?
Yeah, it cost me £18. I can't find the label for it. I did have it in my sock book because it was originally going to be a pair of socks.
You started doing them, didn't you?
Yeah, but I stopped doing them, so I ripped them out. I'm enjoying this. This is the last colour. I can't remember how. I've got to do a good chunk of it in this. And then I do a lace panel again. And then you do a couple of rows after it and then you cast off. I'm not ready to see what it says to cast off. I'm sure it said cast off in pattern. But I might do a prettier cast off.
The cast off I did on this was like what did they call it? You knit 2. And then you slip them back onto the needle.
Yeah.
And then knit them together.
Yeah.
And then you knit the next one, so you've got the 2, and then slip them both back on, and then cast them off. Knit 2 together, and that makes it quite stretchy.
Alright, cool.
That's what I've done on both of these.
So hopefully, this may be done next podcast. I haven't picked it up though in a week. I've been working on that little dress. This is the Magic Springtime shawl. Still really lightweight. And that's how much I've got left of the brown. I'd say that's probably about 15, maybe 18 grams. And that's what I've got left of the grey.
Plenty of that.
I want to make some socks with them. I think they'll be really nice. So that's that one. And then I'll show one more, and then I've got one more to show. But you can go after this next one. I showed you all.
In your big bag. Handmade. Home bag. Flat bag. I love these bags.
I need to make some more of those. I've been knitting. I showed last time a dress that I started knitting from one of the Let's Knit magazine for our baby segment that we decided that we're going to start doing. Oh man, stitches are falling off. And I've got to knit 24 I said inches then. My big's this kid.
Having a big child, a big baby.
24 centimetres. And I think I'm
About halfway.
4 centimetres
40,
off.
yeah.
When I measured it last, I think I was just over 18 centimetres. And man, it's just not growing. It's taking forever. Last time you saw it, it was down here.
Yeah.
And I'd done just a little bit of pink. But once I get to I forgot to bring the magazine to show you what the picture is.
We showed it last time. People
Yeah.
can always go back and have a look there.
But I'm really annoyed because, can you see that? It's where it's split. And it's all fluffy and horrible. So see?
Stick a flower on it.
So that's going to have a flower stuck over it. And I'm well annoyed. I'm there knitting along going,
Why is it white?
what is that? It's where it's unplied.
Yeah, but why is it white?
How am I supposed to know? Stylecraft have got something to answer for because I'm a bit ticked off.
Well, you should go on their Facebook page and tell them.
I think I will. So I'm doing this on. What am I doing this on? 3.25. The pattern asks for a 3.75 or a 4. But the little girl who I'm knitting this for is tiny. And this is the 12 to 18 month size, so I'm going to give it as a Christmas present. But she's miniature, so I would like to actually see her in it before she's 5. So that's the plan. I'm not far off doing the waist decreases, and then I imagine after that I'll just fly through the top. So that's that. And I have that in a Toft bag.
Yes, we have loads of those because I used to sell Toft yarn in my shop as well. So I have a lot of Toft bags.
You can go in here.
Right.
And then I've just got one more to show.
Right, this is my Wendy Evolution shawl. Has grown somewhat since you saw it last.
My neck's really hurting.
Take that there. Oh. This is where, this stitch marker here is where we were, where I was in the last video.
I've had no contribution in the knitting of this shawl.
So it has grown. It's grown a fair bit
Just a tidge.
since then. I have been trying. I have gone past. You can see I've gone past. This is the, yeah, pull that down. That's the centre point because it's obviously a triangle. So I've gone past the centre point. So now I'm just, this is what I've been knitting on quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's why I've not got on with my rainbow socks and things because I'm now keen to get this finished. I would really. I really want to do that shawl that I showed.
It's so soft.
Oh, it's so, it is really soft this. But I'm keen, I want to get this done because I want to see it finished because I really like it. And it's a dead easy pattern. It's one you can just sit in front of the telly and it's, you don't need, once you know the pattern, which doesn't take long to learn, you can just get on with it. And I'm decreasing now, so it's going to go quite quick.
Yeah.
There's no increasing anymore. I'm decreasing every other row. So that, hopefully, by next podcast, I'll be wearing that. In my
Hopefully I'll be wearing mine too.
In my Clear Knit Picks project bag. I like these clear bags because you can see what you've got.
I'm not sewing PVC.
And in my damp house. All sorts of connotations there. In my damp house, there's no ventilation. It keeps things nice and dry. Right. Are you going to show another one, or do you want me to show another one and then you show that one?
Yeah.
Because I have a couple.
Yeah.
At least I think I've still got a couple.
She's just a machine.
Oh, I know. I get bored knitting the same thing. I've got a short attention span.
Where she's knitting, I'm sleeping.
So,
Pretty much how it rolls.
I probably showed a couple of episodes ago. This Lamina wrap by Amber O'Brien. And this is quite a big shawl. I want some big shawls. Well, this is more of a wrap. But I want some big ones I can wear rather than, because I've done a couple of little ones, I want some big ones.
Big ones though.
That you can wrap round you. And I've been itching to do that. I've got all these colour ideas for what I'm going to do with this in my head. But I've got, I thought, well, let's just go in your face.
Jazzy!
In your face bold. I'm loving knitting this. This is such an easy pattern to knit. It's a lace pattern. And this is Mothy and the Squid. Again. Set of 10 minis, 20 gram minis in the primary colours. They're all in there. That's what it looked like on that card when I bought them in the pack.
You did show them on the podcast, didn't
I think she brought them out, I think for the Socks of Oz, Cal. But the first socks were like rainbow, and they used all these 10 colours.
Oh yeah, they did.
Do you know, I couldn't wrap my head around that pattern. I tried doing it with other yarn first to see how it worked, and I just couldn't wrap my head around that first one. And I thought, I don't want to have to think that out.
No.
It makes my brain hurt. Anyway, they look like that, and I've been looking at them all thinking, oh, am I going to use them for heels and toes, you know, oddments? And this wrap, I think, lends itself really to doing with all your minis and scraps and stuff like that, because it didn't take much. It's actually taken 5 grams to do one colour. Not the black, but the colours.
Does it stay that size all the way through?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So I weighed it. I weighed each one, just to check after I'd done each stripe. And they were about 15, 16 grams, so they've taken about 5 grams.
That's not bad.
So you can use up quite a lot of your minis. So I thought, I'll do it. What the heck? I'll just get the whole lot out. I'll wind it all up. I'll do black through between, and I'll do an in your face. Whether I'll ever wear it's another matter. But I'll do an in your face bright. I had done the green.
Look at me, shawl.
Yeah, I had done that green stripe, but I had to pull it back because I made a mistake somewhere. I was a stitch short, so I just pulled it back because it's only 125 stitches as well. So I fitted it on my. These are my 30cm. I'm out of slagged off Knit Pro circulars for Magic Loop last week, but these are my Knit Pro straights, and I love them.
I
For
like
straights,
those.
I love these. Knit Pro Zing straights are fabulous. So from bad last week to great this week.
I use their DVDs.
It slips and slides, and this yarn is blue-faced Leicester. So it doesn't feel like your merino, as soft as your merino.
Ooh, but I bet it would be really
But
warm.
it definitely feels like a winter. It's going to feel like a nice winter wrap to wrap up in,
You want some bright and cheery in winter.
which is going to be bright and cheery. I've been talking.
Sunshine.
I've been saying today whether it's going to be really bright. This I'm never going to wear it. Shall I rip it back?
Sunglasses are needed.
So vote down below, please.
Yeah.
To rip it back or not to rip it back, that is the question. I will go with a majority of vote. So please,
I'm not going to do any more work
I'm not going to do.
decisions made.
I'm not going to do any more until the next podcast. So if people would like to comment and tell me whether I should rip it back, it's too bright.
I bet everyone says keep it.
And get a grip light, you know.
Yeah,
Do
I
something
think
more supple.
keep it.
Do something more supple. Oh yeah, you want to see it in a rainbow. It's going to be a full-on rainbow. I should get at least 4 stripes.
Because you even went to the effort to start it properly in the proper rainbow sequence.
I know. I did. I didn't do it in the order that it was in the packet, like on her card. I actually went on and looked for the proper rainbow,
See, she's doing it proper and everything.
so to make sure I got it in the right order. So I should get at least 4 stripes from each.
Good
So
dude.
please comment below
Yes.
and subscribe while you're at it.
Yes.
We could do with a few more subscribers. You know, when we get to 250, we're going to do a really good giveaway.
We are.
We might. No pressure. But we're at 161 today, I think. Well,
161, yeah.
you know, it's a bit of a slow burn, but we'll get there eventually.
Come on, peeps. We can do it.
So that's that one.
We need
Okay.
to spread the woolly elephant love.
We do.
It's just
Right.
has to happen. Where am I up to?
You've got another one.
Oh, I've got it.
You know, I can talk the hind legs off a donkey.
Bloody Nora.
If you know, when I get on about knitting.
Right. Well, Mother gave me this 2 years ago.
From a knit, it was my knit crate. I was in the knit crate indie guide club,
And it's Madeline Tosh, hand dyed yarn.
and that just didn't speak to me. That colour. I tried knitting with it a couple of times, and I just couldn't.
It's Tosh Merino White in cotton candy. She'd given me 2.
It was a Christmas colour,
Well, it's red and blue.
and it was very limited as well. And I got 2 skeins of it as well.
I've got voted in.
And I just wasn't me.
It says it's 100% superwash merino wool fingering weight. Blah de blah. Made in Texas. Groovy dude. So I thought I wanted to cast on something for Michael from to wear over Christmas time, because I decided to start the Tin Can Knits Flax Light, because that's been sat on my shelf staring at me for ages. And I was like, I'm never going to knit a shawl in this. I was never going to knit socks in it because it's not spun. It feels like a, what would you call a single?
A single ply,
Yeah.
but twisted.
Only ever so slightly.
Yeah. So it's
Because-
like a 1 ply.
Because when I was knitting with it, from my first view of this yarn, I'm not overly impressed. It feels nice and it'll be nice when it's done, but it's some areas are going thick and thin.
Like a slub.
And I don't dig that, man.
No, I don't like that.
No.
I like my knitting to be smooth and even.
Smooth. Like, I've only done the rib. Because this is literally, I've only started this a couple of days ago.
What's it going to be?
Flax light sweater. You start at the...
Skinny.
What?
It's going to be skinny. Is it a sleeve?
You start at the neck.
Oh, right.
It's top
I was going to
down.
say.
I've never done a top down sweater before, so I thought, I want to use this, because it's just sat there staring at me. So I thought, it's a Christmas colourway, so I'll knit it for Christmas.
Excuse me.
But because
Totally clash with his hair.
Yeah, but whatevs. But because Michael is a big boy, his chest measures 24 inches, which is the average size of a 3 to 4 year old, but he's got a height of like
His age.
his age. So I'm having to knit the...
And he's not fat. He's not even
No.
chubby.
He's well proportioned, he's just a big boy.
Mm.
He's going to be like his daddy. So I'm looking at the pattern thinking, oh god, I'm going to have to cast on. I've cast on for the age 3 to 4. So I'm going to be chasing my child around the house trying to get him to try it on so I can get the length right. Probably put another maybe 1 or 2 inches on. How many inches extra do you think I should put on?
A couple of inches.
Yeah, a couple of inches. For his
Length.
torso
Mm. And his sleeves.
and his sleeves. Because like Mum says, no way is he chubby at all. That kid does not stop moving. So it's going to be fun to actually try and get it fitting properly, because I'm going to really have to think about it fitting in properly, because when I've knitted in things in the past, I've knitted for his age and his chest measurement what it should be,
Well, if you
and it's
do
been too small.
it as the age 3 to 4, but just make the sleeve shorter
Yeah,
and the body a bit shorter.
and the body a bit shorter.
Mm.
I might just knit it as it is, because
He's going to grow into
it's
it.
going to grow
You
into
can
it
fold
anyway.
sleeves back.
So,
You don't want it to fit in perfectly because he'll be out of it in like 2 months.
yeah, we don't want that.
No.
So, but after just knitting this rib, I'm not into this wool.
No.
I'm not, it's nice and all, but I don't like it when it gets thick and thin and then it's not spun.
It's like a hand spun. It's almost like hand spun, isn't it?
Which I wouldn't be bothered if it was an actual hand spun. I'm just not digging it. So yeah, and I'm knitting this on 2.75 millimetre higher, and the pattern's free off Ravelry.
Right. I'm going to whiz through these next ones because otherwise this video is going to go on
10 years.
forever and a day. I should have finished this by now, but I haven't because it's not exactly hat wearing weather, so I've not been in any rush to finish it. But I am now starting on the crown section. This is a hat from my Coop Knits book. I've shown it a couple of times. The yarn is Forbidden Forest from the Harry Potter paper stories. A lot of her yarns are Harry Potter themed. This one's called Forbidden Forest. I've got a Deathly Hallows Progress Keeper on it. And I'm just starting to change the cables, which you'll be able to see better when I've done it a bit more. I'm going to try and get this finished for the next one as well, because I want it done. This done and not the needles.
We'll have new socks, new shawls, new
Yeah,
hats.
it's a new hat. I'm trying to decide whether this is me.
It's
What do you
definitely
think?
me if it's not you.
Do you think? With a point in the middle.
Sexy.
See, it's right. It's right length,
I think
just-
everyone should wear hats like
and
that.
it's supposed to be. It's going to be a bit.
Ventilation.
It's going to be a bit slack. I can have my ponytail go through that.
Oh god, no.
It can be a bit slack. I can head Paul when he's doing my heading.
Yeah.
Paul's at work, and he's the most annoying man on the planet.
He's a plonker.
Anyway, that's that one. So
Nice way of putting it.
that's nearly done. I showed this last week. Petit Fleur, double knit, Petit Fleur.
Episode, not last week.
Last week, 3 weeks ago, in the last episode, which was a double knit, which has got a real soft halo to it and is super soft, but it's a
Super
cotton. It's mostly cotton. It was a £2.50 a ball, Peter Pan yarn, and I found.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, I didn't until before when I was looking through. I found this pattern online. It's on Ravelry. I can't remember what it's called. When I've done a bit more, I'll show a bit more. Can't see it so much on the white one. Like in the very first episode where I knitted, it's alright, it's picked it up there, look.
Alright, okay.
I knitted a mitred corner shawl, like the Cosby Memory blankets everybody's knitting, where you knit each square onto each other.
Yeah.
This is done in a similar way, but you're not. It's, can you see? And it all looked like
It's like a fan.
fans, which I thought was really nice. So I was trying to decide whether I liked it before I did any more. It's just one I can pick up every now and then and do. I say a square, but it's not a square, it's a fan. Pick up and do a fan every now and then.
Very long?
No, it took about 30 minutes.
So that's like it. You could do 2 an episode.
Yeah, about 30 minutes or so. 30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending if I was paying attention. But it didn't take very long to do one.
Did you have to pay attention to it?
Well,
To a certain extent.
to a degree, yeah, because you're doing them holes. But it's something I could just pick up. I could take my time over. I could just pick it up every now and then and do one when I feel like it, when I just want to change from what I'm doing. So I thought that was quite nice. So I will print that pattern off at some point. It was one that didn't have a PDF with it. You linked to it. It was a free pattern on Ravelry. But it wasn't where you printed off PDF, so I was just looking at it on my computer.
Alright.
And I'll just go back to it. Like I said, I can't remember what it's called, but I'll find out. Because I'll show that again. And then this is my last one. Another one I've started. Because, you know.
Got a lot of feedback on.
Yeah, I'm
Instagram
getting
one.
quite a bit of feedback on this one. This is from the Edinburgh Yarn Festival magazine, the programme magazine.
Oh yeah.
Patterns in it. And this was in it, and it was knitted in double knit. And this is, I thought, well, I want to knit, I've got this Jacob's Fleece, West Yorkshire Spinners yarn for a bit. It's 100% Jacob's Fleece. It's obviously a bit coarser and it smells like sheep.
Don't be poking me in the nose.
It smells like sheep.
Probably could find my face in the nose.
It does. But I
Sheep.
wanted to knit something. It was £5.50. I've seen it in other places for like
Nah.
£6.95, but at Abercrombie in Manchester, it's £5.50.
Made me feel sick though.
And they've only had there's only the two.
Yeah.
They only show it the two colours. This one's called light grey, although it looks beige to me, like a browny colour.
It does a bit.
And then you've got the natural. The natural seems much thicker than the beige. Don't know why, but it is. But it's knitting up fine. And I seem to be getting quite a lot of people liking this.
You better wash that before you wear it.
Because they want to see, people want to see what it's going to look like. How big it's going to be. Well, you can see how big it's going to be. It's going to be
It's like
just about the right size. And it's looking really good. I have done a bit more, but I made a mistake. And I had to pull it back. See, Edinburgh Wool Tribe it was called. It came, and this is it on the front. Not that it's picking that up very well, because it's loving Nikki. So if I put it next to Nikki.
You'll have no
Um,
idea because you won't be able to see the square.
Yeah, that's it. That's in double knit there. So that's what I'm doing. I think people are keen to see what it looks like and how big it comes out knitted in another yarn, in a thicker yarn. Sunwick this is. It's called. So watch this space for that. So that shouldn't take that won't take me very long at all. So you know if you're lucky I might have even had that one finished by
Maybe
next
FO
time.
party
And then I won't have any FOs for ages because I'll have done one.
for months.
So that's it for FOs. Got any acquisitions?
Nope.
Do you know? It's all about me, isn't it, this channel?
I have one acquisition, but it's not really.
I will whiz through these. I actually got from Nora George the Minis Club, the May Mini Club. These are lovely.
I like those. They're pretty.
They were called inspired by. It's called Divide, inspired by Ed Sheeran. And the lovely colours, and it's called there's Hearts Don't Break Around Here, Castle on the Hill, Supermarket Flowers, Dive, and But What Do I Know? I think they I don't know, they'll be a shawl or something at some point.
Who cares? They're just pretty.
They're just pretty, they're just nice to look at them. And then I ordered all these things probably over a month ago, and everything just, I forgot about getting the other one out.
Oh well.
I'll get that one out next time. And everything came at once. This was for the Nora George Patronus shawl kit. in the the stag colourway, I think it was called.
Is it the Lily and James one?
Yeah. No, James and Harry.
Harry.
The stag for the Patronus shawl. You bought these and you got the Patronus dye lot. Harry and James's stag, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. But these feel quite firm. Like it's a twisted, looks like a twisted ply.
Yeah.
So
like
I've downloaded the Patronus shawl. Whether I'm going to do the Patronus shawl in these, I don't know. But I really like the colours. So whether I use them together or I use them separate, I don't know. They're a plus. I just wanted to get some No Rejoice because everybody seems to get it and there never seems to be anything on their site because it's always all gone.
I've got some.
So I got 2 lots. The other thing I would say, I wish you'd put on that it's pre-order.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know it was pre-ordered. It didn't say on the website that it was pre-ordered. I thought I was worrying that it was lost in the post when it hadn't come in nearly 2 weeks and it wasn't. She said it was pre-ordered, but you know.
Oh. No.
And this was what I bought from Amy.
Stranded.
At Stranded Dye Works. Those socks, blueberry waffle socks were knitted in. I bought 3. These 2 are going to be a shawl, I've decided. The Sirdar colour wheel shawl I showed in the last episode that I knitted for my mum. I'm going to use these and do another one
Oh, that'd be lovely.
in those. Because that's double knitting and that was a double knitting shawl. And there should be plenty there for that. So that's those. Again, that's in the buried. Castaway double knit in the buried. Not buried as in dug a hole in the ground.
As in
buried here.
berries.
As in berries. Like
Buried.
yeah, not buried. Buried.
You're funny.
So I just thought I'd better clarify that.
Yeah, we're not burying people.
Right, that's that one. So that's that done. So what's next?
I brought my pattern book that Mum actually put together for me when we closed your shop.
Yep.
And we decided we were going to knit baby things. Like, this is a pattern I recently bought, so I thought I'd bring it anyway. When my friend was announced that she was having a baby girl, so I brought that. I knitted the one on the front, and it kept going wrong because it was like you cast on something daft, like how many stitches? 107 stitches, and you're doing a lace pattern. And I weren't loving it, so I didn't carry on with that. But there are a couple of patterns in here I have done, like I'm sure we've both done this one.
This is the one when I mentioned in the last video that I sold loads of preemie cardigans, knitted loads of premature baby cardigans. It was this one. No, I didn't do it stripy. I did it in baby cotton soft, and just did it plain in cream or white mostly. Sold loads and loads of them. It was such an easy pattern to do. It was so popular.
It's well loved because it's proper creased.
Yeah.
And I knitted. Take it out, I think. When I was expecting Michael, King Cole came out with this Cherish, and I bought that colourway, but I did the bottom one pattern. The collar. For the life of me, I can't actually find the cardigan. I don't know where it's gone.
This one, I knitted this one a couple of times. I knitted this in turquoise. Where it's white, I knitted it in turquoise, and where it's blue patterned, I knitted it in turquoise, and where the white is, I knitted it in bright green. As a sample in the shop to sell Stylecraft, because I used to sell Stylecraft special DK. It sold as soon as I made it, so I made another, and then that sold as soon as I made it, and then I knitted, then my friend wanted one, friend's son wanted one, so I've knitted that quite a few times. So that's a good King Cole pattern for a baby. It knits up lovely.
So nice. And the King Cole Cherish was lovely. I remember it was so soft and lovely to knit with. And this one, I don't know if you can tell because
I've actually got that somewhere.
It's so yellow, but that little bolero that little girl's wearing, I've knitted that.
I've knitted that.
And
The one with the collar and the long sleeves on the back, I've done that in like a lilac and pink shaded yarn.
And this is UK Hand Knitting Association.
So these are patterns that we would recommend that we've knitted
I'm not just showing
for babies,
random
not just random patterns, they're all ones we've knitted.
We've knitted.
If I can find pictures, I'll put them in. I don't know whether I will this episode because I need to go through my back catalogue of photographs to try and find, but I've usually took pictures of everything that I've made. So it's useful for people that are knitting for their own babies or grandchildren or nieces and nephews or whatever.
In the UK, knitting hand association or hand knitting association, whatever, they tend to start their patterns really small, like premature sized. So if you were going to have, if you knew you were going to have a tiny baby, then there you go.
Yeah.
And this one, this is super cute. I knitted the dress in those colours. And
You did it
those
in
soft.
She did it in this pink and cream that's on here, in the baby merino. It was lovely.
And I knitted it in the premature size, and it was so nice. And I gave it to my friend's little girl who I'm knitting the other dress for.
Did she wear it?
I don't actually know. I'll have to ask her.
So you can get
See
pictures
if I
of
can get a picture. It might have been too small because it was creamy, but she was early.
Mm.
But there some of the
That's just a few.
patterns that off the top of my head I can remember that we've done, and I'll probably knit some of these again for the next one.
That one, I've done that one as well.
And a chunky. Let's see. I don't think I've done that one, but you've done.
I've done this one, King Cole, cabled. That was a really easy one to do as well. And they start off quite small, 12-inch chest,
Patterns are so good.
which is like for like a £6 baby, £6 to £8 baby, up to a 20-inch, which can be like a 1-year-old.
20 inches, something like
Yeah.
9 to 12.
Yeah. So they're pretty good. We like King Cole because King Cole patterns are really good value for money because you get at least two on them, and the UK Hand Knitting Association, the UKHA ones as well. They usually have 2 or 3 on. They're good value for money.
Yeah, they've got 3 on.
Right, we're going to do this.
So
book.
if anyone wants to know anything more about the patterns I've shown, I can give you the numbers. Just contact me directly.
And if we can find, like I say, if we can find some pictures, if I can find some pictures of them, because I've probably got them on Facebook and they might be in Google Drive somewhere.
In the distant past.
Yeah, because like I say, I photographed pretty much everything of all the ones I've done at some point, so they'll be there. They'll be stored in the cloud or something.
Cool.
Anyway, what's that book called?
I don't know. There was no book here.
Yeah. We said last time, we were going to do a book review on Itty Bitty Toys by Susan B. Anderson. I love this book. I haven't done a huge amount out of it, but I started off, I bought a Craftsy class. She did a Craftsy class on knitting seamless toys, which I did. Because once you buy their classes, you've got them for life. And she's so clear, her class was so good. And I knitted the toys, and once I'd done those toys, and I went on to look at what she'd done pattern-wise and books, and this book was on with knitted toys. I thought about this, and what I like about it best is it's ring bound, so it lies flat.
Oh.
All knitting books should be ring bound because they just lie flat
I agree.
on the surface.
None of the pages just keep flipping back on itself.
It has very clear instructions on how to knit in the round, how to transfer from circular to DPNs when it's getting smaller, how to knit on the arms and legs and fix mistakes, and it's put in eyes, and it's all really clear. You think, how do you do that? There is instructions in there on how to do it, and it's not gobbledygook like some that you see. It's really clear on how to do them. And then there's all sorts of things in here, like from knitted nesting boxes, never fancied trying them myself, to soft squishy knitted balls.
They'd be cute.
One's, hang on, first one. Right, the knitted bunny. Love this knitted bunny. I made this one. Here he is. I'm not good at faces. And he's looking a bit flat now because he's been a bit loved. But this was, I think this was Artisanal, the Fair Isle one.
Yeah.
Yarn. This was Stylecraft,
Oh,
I think. No, or it might not have been, I don't know, I can't remember. But it's double knit anyway, it's knitted in double knit. And I thought he looked really good.
He is, he's
Because he looks like he's wearing an outfit. And then, over the page, I'm going to have to see if I can find a picture of this one that I did. It's the pig. She's knitted the same way as the bunny. He's the same size as the bunny. But I knitted him in turquoise. I don't know why, it just turquoise was there, and
Why
I thought
not?
I'll knit him in turquoise. For Michael. Knitted him for Michael. No, I didn't. I knitted him long before you were even pregnant.
Yeah.
It went to Michael.
Michael took it.
And he was just all in the turquoise blue pig. And I took from the Susan B. Anderson class on Craftsy, where it taught you how to... You didn't knit the legs and the arms separate. You actually knitted them on, like afterthought.
Yeah.
Like afterthought. It was how I first learned how to do like afterthought things. So it was all knitting around, so there was no sewing up. So you could just knit them on, which was I thought was good because there was no fear that anything was going to come undone at all.
It's really good though.
And then the stuffing come out. So these were the ones I knitted first from the Craftsy class. I knitted these really quick. I'm not big into knitting toys, but I loved doing these. I thought they were really cute. So I knitted all them, and as you can see from that one especially, everything's like all in one piece because all the arms are knitted on. There's no sewing. It looks a bit like they're sewn on in some places, but they're not. It's just where the stitches stretch from them being. And these were just knitted in. That was in. These were both knitted. These two in the same Peter Pan yarns that I've done this weaving in because I've used it for all sorts. So I was really glad. So they've been played with a bit. And then I took what I learnt from those, and instead of knitting the legs and the arms separately on the blue pig, I knitted them. I think I knitted them on. It's a shame.
I think he did.
Because she couldn't find him. Thinks he'd gone to his other grandparents. So I'm going to have a look, see if I'm sure I've got pictures of him when he was a baby holding the blue pig. If I have, I'll put them in. If I've not, I apologise. But
I will hold this pig.
if you like knitting toys, or stuffies as some people call them, this is a fabulous book. I have the yarn for knitting the snake. That's done in sock yarn, so you could use any of your self-striping sock yarns to knit that. It's basically a big tube. They were felted balls. I've knitted this little fella. These.
Did you give that to Flossie?
I gave them to Flossie. It's like you knit a little dog, sausage dog, and then you knit a blanket and fold that over and put them in that. And I think she rather liked that. I think that's all I've actually knitted out of it. I did plan on knitting some of these topsy-turvy toys where they that's the backs of them. It's one inside the other, so they turn. There's no good pictures to show that. Oh, there he is. I'll show there. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to show the pattern so I don't get in trouble. There you are, there's an elephant and a lion, that one. And then there's a mouse and a cat. And a princess, a princess and like a Cinderella type one, you know, where she goes from princess to...
Pauper type.
Yeah, that thing. So, and the Craftsy class, Craftsy class was really good as well. You know, you've got all your printed out instructions on how to do it. Yeah, printed them out. So, I would highly recommend that, as I've been there and tried it. Which sort of would show you another teddy while we're at it. This is our original woolly elephant. We didn't knit him, obviously, but this was a jumper I knitted for Michael, but he was a big baby, so it was too small. So
he wore it once and it was too small.
So we put it on the elephant, and he became our mascot initially until we got a proper logo. Because that's what I said. He'd got a jumper on. Why don't we call us woolly elephant?
That's where he split it. He put it on him, and I was trying to find the split this morning, and it was there. He bust out of it.
Anyway. So I think we'll have to wrap it up for today because we've been waffling on for quite a while. So until next time, keep happy, keep safe, keep well.
TTFN.
TTFN.
Bye.
Bye.